Do you see this? This is how you want your mac and cheese to look. We don't do no dry mac and cheese over here. No, not at all. So to get this clean recipe, stay tuned. You're going to start by seasoning your water for the noodles with some chicken bouillon seasoning. I like to add about half a bag of cheese, shredded cheese, in a bowl before I get started. So I'm starting with some mozzarella cheese, some Italian cheese. You're going to see me go in with some Colby Jack cheese and some Monterey Jack cheese as well. I also really love the way Gouda cheese melts. So I'm going to add that into my recipe as well. You'll see the Monterey Jack cheese right there. Typically I get them combined, but the store didn't have it like that. So we're going to have it separate. There's that sharp cheddar right there. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and mix it all together. Make sure that it's all nice and smooth together. You want to mix this with your hand, preferably, just to make sure all the cheeses are well blended together. This is a 5-cheese recipe, so you want to make sure all 5 of the cheeses are combined together. I'll have all of the ingredients listed below as well. And sometimes that shredded cheese comes with like that block, so you want to be sure that you can get your hand in there and get it mixed around. By doing this, you're going to make sure all of the clumps in the cheese are gone and that all of the cheeses are just well mixed together. I also forgot to add my Gouda cheese, but here it is, last but not least. You're going to get your noodles boiled. I like to use the elbow noodles. This is just my preferred choice. If you find something that works for you, use that. So next you're going to start with your cream sauce. I used about, I would say, 3 cups of heavy whipping cream. And I combined those on a low to medium heat because you don't want it to boil over or you don't want it to get burnt at the bottom. So you're going to make sure that this is nice and controlled. Next, you're going to add in your cheeses. Add them all in. Make sure it's all mixed well together. I just add probably about 80% of the bowl, and then I'll go ahead and mix it around at the other 10%. And at the end, you'll see that I'll come in and use that other 10% for the middle of my cheese. But we're getting too ahead of ourselves. Mix it together well. Check on your noodles. You're going to want to make sure that they're not sticking together. So by doing that, you're going to just continuously mix them around in your water just to make sure, like I said, they're not sticking together. That's the key to that. So here I am adding the other parts of my cheese in there. I like to do it half at a time just to make sure that the cheese is melting really well and that it's all combining with the heavy whipping cream. You can kind of see like the difference between the cheese sauce and the heavy whipping cream. So what you're going to do is continue to mix until it looks like this. As far as my seasonings, I went ahead with some paprika, black pepper. You're going to go in with some garlic powder as well as some onion powder. Make sure that that's mixed well. I would say I probably did like half a tablespoon of each of these, but you're going to season to your liking once you get all of the noodles into the pan as well. So this is just a starter seasoning to get started with. You're going to make sure that that cheese is ooey gooey like that. Yes. You want to keep mixing until you get it to the consistency of your liking. Preferably, this is it for me. So I'm going to just continue to mix and make sure that that heavy whipping cream is all into those cheeses. Make sure that those cheeses are all melted as well. So next we have our noodles. They're all done and drained. You're going to add that cheese sauce directly into the pot with the noodles. And the way that it just falls into there is just perfect. It's going to blend well. This is the consistency that I like because it'll coat the noodles really well. As you can see, you're going to go ahead and mix it in. Yes, mix it in all together. By this point, your oven should already be heated up to that 375 so you can get ready. I'm going to be making mine in a cast iron. So what I'm going to do is layer this first layer down with the cheese sauce and the noodles. Just go ahead and get a couple scoops in there and make you a nice layer. And then you're going to use the remainder of that cheese that was from the cheese sauce to go ahead and put on this middle layer. So you're going to make like a layer of shredded cheese in between your cheese sauce, which is the bomb. Trust me, you need to try it if you haven't already. And honestly, this is just what works for me. So if it doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. You don't need to go ahead and be hateful in the comments or anything like that. Just come here, try it out. If you don't like it, that's fine. There's plenty of other mac and cheese recipes, but honestly, I think mine is the best. Go ahead and make this next layer. And what you're going to do is make sure that it's nice and full. Get all of those noodles on there. And if you've been on my channel before, you know it's one thing I love, and that's a close-up. Let's get into it. Do you see that cream sauce? Yes, yes, yes. It's beautiful. So next, what I went ahead and did is go ahead and throw some paprika on there. Just a little dash of it. You know, nothing too special because paprika is mostly just going to be for that color aspect. It's not going to add any seasoning. A little bit of parsley. I typically do this before I actually put it in the oven on top of the cheese, but I don't know why I did it like this. But if you want to do it like this, do it like that. If not, you can go ahead and put it on top of that cheese. So next, I'm going to take my sharp cheddar cheese as well as my Colby Jack cheese, and I'm going to layer it on this top, and it's going to look real good. Watch that. Look, boom. You want to get a nice layer on it too, because you don't want it to be, the noodles will kind of come through if you see, if you don't do enough, and that's not what you want. So you're going to want to make sure that you get a good layer, cover all of those noodles, make sure that they're nice and coated. Keep going until it's at a desired level of your choice. Once I get all the noodles covered, I typically will just go ahead and throw it in that oven for about 15 minutes. And when it's done, it's nice and golden brown, just like that. You can see it's still bubbling from coming out the oven, baby. Ooh, this is up close and personal, no flitter, what they be saying on TikTok. Yes, this is what a nice golden brown baked mac and cheese will look like. It's not spilling over the sides too much. I love making it in this cast iron because I think it just gives it the perfect crisp. And what you're going to do is let it rest for about, I'd say, honestly, 10 minutes, just to get that crisp on the top, real crispy, so it break apart just like that when you pull it out. Yes, do you see that cream? Get into it.